reading today, and I did a little bit different. A little bit different way this time, but I was following my heart. I was following the guidance of spirit, if you will. And so what we've came up with today is this. So I hope that this is something that really touches you and inspires you today. The first card that was drawn is Passion. And this is from Archangel Haniel. And Haniel says, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Well, there's so the angels, they can a little sarcastic sometimes, but then they end up being serious as well. And this is, in my view, Haniel kind of being sarcastic but serious, so seriously sarcastic, in saying to trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. And yet here we are in America anyways, people are without jobs, or they're this or they're that or whatever. But I kind of find it a little it kind of makes me chuckle a little bit. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that you have this talking about following the renewed passion and career, and it's like, oh gosh, what? But I actually want to go ahead and play off of that, and I'm being led to, because here's the realness of it, okay? So how many people were really down on themselves about their work, their job, their career, their whatever before? But now we're where a lot of people they're not. And it's not that they're gone and that they're going to be gone forever. It feels like that, they might be. It may come down to that at a point in time, sometime in the future, that it will. No, don't hear me out whenever I say this. I'm not saying that it's going to happen where we don't have jobs that we had before. We will. It's just going to take time. But how many people are going to be even more grateful for their job, or people that weren't grateful for their job in the first first place, finding renewed passion for a job that they had before. Maybe is somebody that used to work in health field, stopped working in the health field, and went to work somewhere else. That place has stopped and now has picked back up into the health field, and now are finding renewed passion. Also, the thought of the renewed passion in our love life. You know, I think many of us take our relationships very for granted. And though right now we kind of had the time to grant that thought and see that necessity of our relationships, we could be getting to a point now where we're starting to take them for granted again, because we've been around these people for this time. And so it's one of these things that, okay, it's been a good thing to be able to spend time with family, but is it getting to be too much of a good thing where we're starting to take for granted again? And we've lost that passion again. Our love life. So both of those take us to the next card, which is take back your power. And this is Archangel Raziel, who says, use your given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. So, I'm talking about power, God-given power, and then talking about that passion, okay? Renewing that renewed passion of driving our self to this, to be the person that we should be in career and in relationships, not only with our romantic partners, but and human to human. We feel this sense of urgency coming and just seeming to take a lot of control over our life. And not our own control, but us losing our control. And we've had to become okay with things. And we don't like that. Becoming okay with losing control is the last thing that we really want to do. So we come to a crossroads where we have to make a decision of we are either going to continue to let ourselves lose control, or we take back our power and this taking back power ultimately gives us the thought to be able to move forward positive feeling for yourself. At the end of the day, we really are trying to better our higher self. But it takes practice. So how do we come to a place of taking back control? And I believe that this next card really helps in bringing that out. Brandon Smiley, yes, you can have a reading. You'll be second in line. The last card for the collective and the archangel message is clairvoyance. This is Raziel again. And Raziel saying, I am helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. What areas in your life have you lost control of that you no longer see heavenly love? Is looking for heavenly love a part of your journey? Because it's all about the spiritual journey. If you don't have the spiritual journey down, the physical journey makes it all the harder. So what can we do to awaken our spiritual sight so we can see fully and clearly heavenly love? My advice here is this meditation. I remember my first experience with loving kindness. I was not fully prepared. The first experience of loving kindness meditation. But I needed it. It's helped me move on. But what loving kindness meditation does for you is it helps you to visualize these people, certain people in your life that you love or that you're just kind of meh about, or that you have some strong deep-seated feelings for. And it allows you to look at those people in your mind's eye and wrap them in heavenly light, in a loving light. When we was my first time doing it. I mean, it took me a couple of times doing it before it really hit me. But when we do that, we are changing our mind. And training our spirit to reactivate. So let's take back our power. So that we can trust and follow our renewed passion in our love life and career. And doing that through heavenly love. Thank you. Just the collective reading spirit message devotion meditation moment, and is a spiritual message from the Archangel Oracle deck. The first was career transition. The second card that came up was prosperity, and the third card that came up was cycles. So I'm going to try to, as I can, talk about this particular trio in the thought and light of the moon cycles and so on. So, like I said, the first card that came up was career transition. And career transition, the card says your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. And I'm not necessarily feeling, everybody that's listening tonight is going to have a career change, right? Okay, but let's break this down. Let's break this down and think about the words that are here. Okay, career transition, and the message for the card starts your life purpose. Well, what are we doing? What are we doing to follow our life purpose? Is there a way that we can hear our life purpose? Now, some people they're not going to be able to do much. Some people aren't going to be comfortable doing these things. Others, though, and doing it for it to be a career. And there's going to be some that will follow their life purpose and they will do it for a career. But then what will happen is the money will go to their head and they lose their purpose. And it becomes about the money more than it comes about the profession. And so, and this is for any career. This is for any path. It's true for any situation. Not only light workers and the such. So, the thing that comes to my mind is me. I mean, who's a better example than somebody that knows, but it's not me trying to build myself up and say, hey, look at me. As much as it is been there, done that. And take this show, what I do here for people, myself, because this is if anything, this is as much about me as it is about. This is as sure that I have a way to, as it is being able to serve and actually serving. And though, yes, I have prices, quote, prices set up, asking for X amount of money for Z reading. It's not about the money. As soon as I make it about the money, then I start losing sight of the goal. That's not what I want to do. That's not my goal. Money is good, and it would be good. It would be nice to be able to do this and in replacement of having to go somewhere and work or just bring in enough money to where I live. I'm not looking to live off of this. If it gets to that point to where I do, then that's great. That's awesome. And at that point, we've made a career out of it, but we've not exploited it to a point of saying, well, this is, if I don't do X, Y, and Z, if I don't make X amount of money, I don't want it to be about money, and I don't plan for it to be about money. But following the life purpose, especially if it's something that we can make a career out of, can land us in a position to do that as a career. So then came the card prosperity. And prosperity says your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. So, this is that thought, and then I notice prosperity doesn't say, well, if you plan to make, you'll make money. Prosperity says, if this is to do, and your plan and your dream is to do this career, then it can be to where it will provide for your material needs. It says material needs. So it's not over and abundance of taking care of that you got to have taken care of. And the thought the thought here talking about dreams, and as we just got done talking about life purpose, the question came to my mind: is our life purpose a dream? And sometimes they can be. Is it a dream for you to open up a homeless shelter for underaged who are damaged and if so, that sounds like that is a life purpose. Is don't sell yourself short for something like this. Sometimes things get in the way. And so the card moon cycles came up. And I really, really want to touch on this. Because today is a new moon. It is time to release anything that no longer serves you. Now, tomorrow we're going to be doing I think on Thursdays we're going to do a message, and Thursdays we'll do a meditation. Sundays that I come, I'm thinking about maybe doing more of a devotional, but during tomorrow, probably, unless we're going to look at a meditation about what we can let go, given that it's with that. Just remember to bear everything in mind that pertains to that. Okay. So follow your life purpose, making a career out of it. Material needs will be provided for as time dreams into reality. And sometimes those dreams are our life purpose. But sometimes there are things that get in our way. So the new moon, in this time of the new moon, it's time to release our 4 hour. Take this. Remember this. Amen. blessed Spirit, come now as we enter into this time of contemplation and guidance, not only for ourselves, but for all those who may hear this word. Amen. Okay. There, that's a little bit better. But that's not the one that I want right yet. There we go. So how are you doing today? Are we feeling a little cooped up? Starting to get a little bit of cabin fever? Yeah, same here. I tell you, there are just days that I have to take a step away from stuff and just really rely on my higher self to lead. Okay? And so, like the rest of you all out there, so don't think that I'm special and exempt from the stress, because I ain't. But we do come to this time of prayer and thanksgiving. It is a time of prayer and thanksgiving, because there are things that we should take the time here to be thankful for. And we'll be thankful for this archangel. So I'm going to do a little something different. I'm going to lay out 2 cards, and I'm going to do an intuition feel. I'm going to kind of demonstrate that for you as well today. So those of you that don't really know maybe what intuition is, you're wanting to learn, and so, but you're needing guidance, or you know that you're an intuitive person and can just feel it, but you don't know how to feel it. This is going to be for you and everybody else out there, along with the message, which is going to be for everybody else out there. So, anyways, let's get this started. I'm going to cut the deck, but I'm just going to draw. Let's see, I want the top card. And let's see, right there. And that one. And that one. Okay. I know that that's a lot of cards. It looks like a lot of cards, but trust me, it's going to end up just being 1, maybe 2. So I'm done now. Yeah. get a feel for the cards with them face down, and with non-dominant hand. Why your non-dominant hand? Well, that's because if you use your dominant hand, it is used to feeling things. So the non-dominant hand is sensitive. So the non-dominant hand, we're just going to kind of over the card. And I like to do it with my eyes closed, just because I feel like that I have a better sense. So just as I come across here, I'm going to make one more pass. Get into that card. So that's going to be the one. And just as well, too. So, should have changed the camera over so that you all could have seen that a little bit closer, but I didn't. So there it is. You can almost make out what is. Wow. The card is Spiritual Understanding. Archangel Raziel said, eccentric, I'm not good with words, information and symbols, and helping you understand spiritual truths. So, light workers, you all, and you know who you are. This is your card. Light workers. This is a call to action. Spiritual understanding. Now, watch, learn for the signs. And I don't know that you're going to really have to look either. I believe that those signs, those wonders, those whatever are going to really jump out at you. Oh my gosh, this is a God thing. Oh my God, how did that happen? I know of someone who is not quite able, and these little things happen around them. And they're so, I mean, hey, mine actually is too. That's just because I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, man, how much more clear could this be? And, you know, around you, the things that happen around you just really point you in a direction. And again, like I say in the opening, you know, sometimes we are presented with a life situation where we need further guidance to decide if we will follow the path for us or ignore the signs and wonders that this universe has to offer. I mean, what do you want? So, anyway, workers, right now, you're being. I was listening to somebody last week that they read the astrology. That's getting more beyond what comprehension stuff. The tarot cards and the archangel cards is plenty enough for me. I will learn a little bit here and there as I go about other things, but I feel like that my capacity is more better used sitting here and talking and comforting you and going off of my gut as to what is the issue here. And that's just this spiritual understanding. You know, a lot of the time happen in the midst of our meditation. And I know of a lot of people that are returning to meditation right now. A lot of realizations up over the next year or so. And that's I have to listen to saying that this is going to happen. I mean, that's just, I can hear somebody say right now, well, yeah, that's echo chamber. And whenever you feel this, you say, well, I've been getting this feeling that there's going to be this, that, and the other. Somebody else says, I've gotten that exact same calling. Or I've gotten that same card on these exact same. There. Be on the lookout. Spiritual understanding needed right now. It don't matter what path you're on. I affirm all. I might have been raised backwoods Christian boy, and I might be a mainline in the mainline Christian church now. I hold real close to it, because what I do, I search my heart and I go, what's conscience for myself, and what's in conscience for me is that there is a answer. Amen. We're going to go into collective reading, spiritual message meditation here. To ask a question of you, something you to think this of more of a meditation. So before I get to the question, you to that and breathe and relax. Slow, steady, firm breath and exhaling low. And any tension, allow yourself to focus in on this moment, right now. And do that one more time. And I want you to think about this. Tell me, what are you feeling right now in this moment? Feeling a sense of worry, discomfort, stress, anxiety. Take a moment and feel this energy. Now, I want you to take just another moment here. Please, and you help people. What do you do that makes this world a better place? Or as though as certain people. You may not feel quite adequate enough. You are adequate. In fact, many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. I'll tell you that. So now, in this time, move from that place, from the thought of what to better humanity, to this world, and think about those things. But how does that make you feel? Are we where we should be so much more focused on those things around us? We've lost sight of the transition. Oh, there are some out there that true awakening. Do you feel this awakening? Put forward your energy. Let what is out in front of you come to you. And take for a moment into consideration how you feel. Can you breathe through that? Is there a sense of comfort and peace? Search for that comfort and long for execution. Now,
once you've moved through all of the things that have been difficult to handle, and it may not be right now, it may, but work on that. And once you've moved through that, think to yourself, what can I do to not only better me and my situation, not only better my higher self, but also better humanity, world, and those around me. What can I do tomorrow that I didn't do today? Not in a sense of putting these things off, but more in a sense of this is now going to be my vocation. Moving into a place of transition so we can be in a place of transcendence. And fully involving and incorporating that and seeing yourself in that love light, the light of peace that we talk, and noticing every single moment how it makes us feel. And now, take one final deep breath in. Breath out. And come back to the room. If we're going,
So today's card is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups. To do something or be with someone that we love and feel deeply connected to. The time and devotion that we put into this project or relationship will fill you with joy or strength. How do we do this? How do we do this during this time of distancing? During this time of you can't go there and you mustn't do that. Forbidden to see loved ones we hold so dear. In today, my guide talked about disconnect to connect. And I'm going to put my thoughts into that today. But I also want to take from another author, Sarah Young, for today's devotion that she had. Because I think this is just so fitting for us. It speaks to me in this particular situation in doing something or being with someone you love or feel deeply connected to. Change up the wording a little bit here just to make the universal language. Don't forget to bring time. Give the divine thanks. Don't take anything for granted. Not even the rising of the sun. And before the had tempted those in the garden, thankfulness was as natural as breathing. The adversary's temptation involved pointing them to the one thing that was forbidden them. The garden was filled with luscious, desirable fruits, but they focused on the one thing they couldn't have, rather than being thankful for the many good things freely available. This negative focus darkened their mind and temptation. When we focus on what we don't have, or on situations that displease us, our mind also becomes darkened. You take for granted life, salvation, sunshine, flowers, and countless other gifts from the divine. You look forward and refuse that is fixed. When you approach the divine with thanksgiving, the light of the divine presence pours into us, transforming us through and through. Walk in the light with the divine, practicing the discipline of thanksgiving. In this moment, in this time of separation, we find ourselves forced to not be able to contact and to connect to those that we love. Some of us are at home with some of our family, but yet there are other family and friends that we miss. We miss hanging out with these people. We miss going out with these people, having good times. We miss these things. And yet, in an age that we seek connection with people, whether that be making friends, finding new romances, or catching up with a long-lost cousin, we are being partially disconnected from that world of being constantly connected. You know, my mind comes back to a computer. And that sometimes you just can't get the connection to work. Sometimes you can't get a program to run right. We can't find the file location. And then what do you got to do? Honestly, I feel as though this is a time where we need to play the part of the computer in disconnecting, shutting down, and forced reboot. If you would like to put it that way, think of it that way. We've been so focused on connection over the past several years that now, well, that we missed what the point of connection in the first place. And now we are being forced to disconnect. Finding new ways and new attitudes to be, avenues to be for the connections that we do have and can have. I love this line in today's devotion. Says, when you focus on what you don't have or on situations that displease you, your mind also becomes darkened. You take for granted life, salvation, sunshine, flowers, and the countless other gifts from the divine. And refuse to enjoy life until that is fixed. How many of us are right now in a time in our mind saying, I wish this was fixed. I don't want to be in this house no more. I don't want to be stuck in quarantine no more. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that, because this isn't how life should be. Life should be so streamlined, it's not even funny. When really what it comes down to is that you want this fixed. And you're not focusing on the things that you could be grateful for. And instead you're fixated on, I want this to happen so bad. I want this to be fixed so much that I can't get the blessing here with me. So what happens? We get force disconnected. I'm sorry, this number has been disconnected. Please try again later. If you feel like you have reached this number in error, please try again. So moving forward, what do we do? I believe, and I've said this from the very beginning, we are being called by the divine to make situations, to give more thought to the things that are happening, to take into consideration that maybe we need to come back, get re-enchanted with the divine. What say you? Will you let this continue to get you down? What say you? Will you continue to want to have it fixed? What say you? Are you willing to disconnect to connect? In light and love, Stefan Seamus. And I do welcome each and every person that's out there listening in and just looking for something else, whatever that may be. And I want you to know that I am here for you. So as we move into this some thoughts occur to me about how serious or not so serious some people really take this. And you know, as a light worker, really can't let people outside of this spectrum down. Hello there, Cynthia from Periscope. But the cards that came up today are reflective. So we're just going to kind of get into that just real quick here for a little bit. Yes, Cynthia, you can. For right now, we are doing a collective reading / archangel message. So if you can hang around a bit, then we'll get to doing the readings and chatting. And I know the lighting's not the best to be able to see the cards, but it's about as good. But this first card is spiritual understanding. So things that occur to me in my thought with spiritual understanding is looking at patterns.
3, 6, and 9 being one of the more common ones that people refer to. You know, pattern nature that I don't think are there by accident. Not by anything our own ways. Not the perception. Even though the patterns are a physical manifestation of what is. How do we take that? How do we take that and mold that into ourself? Looking for the patterns that symbolize us. Well, right now, it's about survival. Or trying to stay healthy. And I thought that was slightly appropriate, given that the next card was healthy lifestyle. Now, the card itself talks about eating a full diet, getting adequate sleep, and exercising regularly. But right now we're in so many more things to having a healthy lifestyle. Like staying at home so that you don't cross paths with somebody that may happen to be sick. And you know, that's okay. That can be part of our healthy lifestyle. But what other things? What other things can we do to promote that healthy lifestyle for ourselves? That brings me to this card. Claircognizance. And not as much as the ability to be
cosmic, however you want to say it. But the thing that comes with that, and that being to pay attention to our thoughts and ideas that come to us. This lays out a very forward-thinking thought pattern of what we can do for that healthy lifestyle. I mean, let's face it, if you're not healthy, then your relationship with the divine is harder to keep constant. That we do or that we don't do, it's just those energies of when we're not healthy put us in a place where it's harder for us to connect. You may be saying, I just gotta take a couple of days. Take a couple of days away from this. I know I do. And I think maybe this is more about maybe not physical, but spiritual and metaphysical health. I mean, we have been over the past few weeks being pointed in a direction, basically saying this exact thing. What are we doing for our spiritual health? I really think, and I would be almost 100% positive, this is the message of the angels. To be able to see better, the spiritual understanding that we need. We need a healthy spiritual lifestyle.
And how do we do that? Take a moment in the coming days to pay attention to your thoughts and ideas that come to you about this. Thank you. Okay, so back the music down just a hair bit more here and get into this collective reading. Much love and gratitude to everyone that is out there. I hope all are doing well amid craziness that's going on that is called COVID-19. My heart goes out to each and every person that's been affected in whatever way that you've been affected. And my hope and prayer is that everyone will be safe and healthy in all that they do. With that being said, let's move forward. Okay. So, drew 2 cards. I felt led to go in the direction of 2 cards. So, this is the first card. The first card is creative writing. This is from Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel says it's time. Make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen an article or book. Okay. This is the other card. We have moon cycles. This is from Archangel Haniel. Haniel says, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalize upon these cycles. So, let's get into this a little bit. I am the world's worst about journaling. I don't journal. I should journal. I really should journal. I hold on to things, and journaling would allow me to let some things go, and it just doesn't happen. But I I I want to take a moment and kind of come to this from a perspective of, we just came out of the full moon. So now let's talk about that for just a second. What does that mean? The full moon is like it's the positivity of positivity, right? This is the time that you set your crystals out to be cleansed and recharge. You can also do that during the day under the sun, but moon energy, something about moon energy, and it just flowing, the brightness of the full moon compared to, you know, what we get every day from the sun. I mean, you know, what we see every day from the sun is the same old, same old. The sun is going to be a certain brightness every day, and that's what you can expect from the sun every day, all the time. But you only get this certain brightness from the moon every 28 days or so. And so, what does that have to do with creative writing? So, let's look at this from the standpoint of historical writings and traditions. A lot of religious traditions were based off of the lunar cycle. Religious traditions that had to do with the times of the year, which also had some to do with the sun, but they could keep up about where they were in the year by keeping up with the moon. And so watching this over history, the thing is, I like history, and particularly I like religion. And so so religious history, there's something about religious history that gives us more in-depth of who we are as physical beings, as spiritual beings. And in our mind, you know, there's this debate of, well, do we really have to have religion? Do we really have to have spirituality? And maybe not. Maybe not. But I would hate to see where life was if we didn't. I don't know that it would be any better. I couldn't say that it would be any worse. But this aspect of journaling, is writing down our experiences, and that's what the ancients did. They wrote down their experiences. And so, whatever you do in your life, an aspect of journaling, noticing, oh, well, we just came through a full moon and things were just really kind of really weird. Not that they were bad, but they were just weird. Can lead one to think, well, maybe there is something behind the power of the moon. So don't discredit that. Take it for a moment. Let it process. And then let it be a tool for you to be able to move on. I believe that's what the lesson is here. No matter if there is or isn't power in the moon, to set aside to track these nuances in our life and then track, phases of the moon and where planets are aligning and all of this other stuff. Can help us grow emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally. It gives us a chance to release whatever pent up energy is inside us. That's what journaling does. And then whenever we realize where these intricacies lie, we may come to find out that those little moments that were just kind of odd actually did happen around the full moon. The things that people say that are supposed to happen around the full moon actually did happen around the full moon. So instead of just believing off of what somebody tells you, you've experienced it. And that's all that the ancient writers did. Observation, experience. And what we can learn from those individuals, oh, how much we can learn. So take a moment to stop and listen to yourself. thing in this world. And take note of the things going on around you. Only then can we truly believe. Because we've experienced in light and love. Seamus.
So, collective reading, spirit message, devotional here. And I got an archangel message. And as you can see, I got a couple of archangel cards here. These were the cards that just kind of really jumped. Well, one literally jumped out of the deck, and the other one was the card on top, but they go hand in hand. And so we're going to kind of go over this just real quick, and I like the direction that the cards are heading in here, because there's going to be some thought here. And that's another thing too, is I like to help you do some critical thinking, you know. And I believe that the angels know that, and they kind of play into that a little bit. But so here we go. The first card, which was the card on top. No, I need to do this card. Yep. The card that jumped out before I pulled the card on top is Comfort. And this is Archangel Araziel. And Araziel says, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So, I want you to think is asking for the same thing. Think for a moment. You needed that comfort. A moment in time where you were just on your lowest low. And how comforting it was to have that one person as walking down the street, walking past you, and say, I don't know what you're going through, but I want you to know that you are loved. I want you to know that you are loved. that one simple act of kindness that brought a sense of comfort. Or maybe you've been in a situation where you've had to pay your bills and you've had to choose between paying your bills and getting your kids something to eat, and you're in line at Walmart. You don't have the money to pay for your groceries, and the person in line behind you, no, don't worry, I got it. And in that one moment, in that very finite time, we are enveloped in a hug of comfort and light, all because of the kindness of one person. Or maybe it's a loss of a loved one. And you've just not understood. You have no way to understand. It just doesn't make sense. And along comes a friend. A few years back, I lost my so-and-so. And I want you to know that I'm here for you. If you need someone to talk to, that one moment of comfort, how soon we forget. The call to action on this message is compassion, which is the other card. This is Archangel Zadkiel. And Zadkiel said, soften your heart with respect to this situation, and all the people involved, including yourself. So maybe we might be looking at someone and say, well, you did it to yourself. Maybe we're the person that's the next person in line, and we're seeing somebody and they say, man, I don't have enough money. I thought I had enough money. And you look at them and say, well, you did it to yourself. Now, we're not saying this out loud, but it's what's going through your mind. And I get it. I would say probably 80% of people, that's not what goes through their mind. But we're being called to a time of compassion. Like right now, in this time of just very unknown circumstances, we don't know who is going to be sick tomorrow. We don't know who that we know may have died today. But yet, there's people that want to point fingers and not have compassion. Now, I'm not trying to stir up any ill feelings. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But I want you to think. I want you to take into consideration people and the situation. The very unique situation that's happening right now. Where's the love? Where's the heart? We talk about peace, love, joy, and happiness all the time, but yet somehow we skip over actually doing it and implementing these things. And I don't want to be pointing fingers at anybody. But folks, we have a world to worry about here. The light workers are being called to action. And if you are a light worker, then be prepared. Dig into reserves of compassion. Because one day, someone had compassion on you and showed you that peace and joy. And though some situations aren't always joyful, you can still know that there is comfort. And that is what compassion brings, is comfort. Open your heart. And live your life fully before the divine. In light and love, Stefan Seamus, Guide of the Light. Right now, what is it that we need to know now to, better our lives and give us advice and a path forward? So let's move forward on that.
after I've given the deck a nice shuffle, them up into going to do this. And then cut the deck there. And this is going to be a 4-card. So everything about this is just general. In general, what do we need to know? So and I know you can't really see the cards, and I'm trying to work on getting some better equipment to make this look a little bit better. But as time goes, we'll get there, and we'll do it. It just takes time, right? It all takes time. So the first card is the Knight of Pentacles. So this card is in the position of the situation. So we're going to read the Knight of Pentacles in as a situation. Usually, court card usually will represent an individual or person, but we're going to go with the situation. In this instance, it just kind of helps us to see the imagery here. So, as a situation with the Knight of Pentacles, we have moving forward in career, business, learning to master finances. So things are kind of stuck in the muck, if you want to put it like that. AVK, yes, you can have a reading. I may have 2 ahead of you, but yes, you may have a reading. So, but right now we are kind of, like I said, stuck in the muck. A lot of stuff going on with jobs and all of this, and everybody's kind of wondering when's the next. Am I gonna be move forward in this and so on? This is just kind of to let us know that things are going to move. Things will move and work out the way that they do. We may need to strap down on our cash, so that line of business or learning to master finances, that could be letting us know that we are needing to strap down on the cash a little bit and kind of be more thoughtful about what we spend and how we spend and such like that. The next card is the 5 of Swords. So let's go there. This is in the position of the challenge to the situation. And swords are notorious for being the mental part of the tarot. So the Five of Swords suggests that there is conflict surrounding one situation where there is there's an intellectual battle fueled by the ego. Remember, to come from a place of love, one could win, but it is a worthless victory resulting from ego-based battles. So, don't let your ego get the best of you and say, oh, well, but I know better, whenever really we don't know enough, or we don't know as much as what we think we know. So that battle of intellectual and so on, and we're kind of seeing that in different areas right now. So that's the challenge. In the position of advice is the Seven of Wands. Made sure that I read that right for a second there. I was like, what? 5, 7. So the Seven of Wands, advice, be the real okay, give me just a second here. I got to read my own. Okay, be the real you, because following those that are true to you could be challenging. Courage and stand your ground during conviction. Avoid high drama addiction. So, basically, just this thought of preparing yourself. Hello, Tia. Taya? Miss Lopez, I'm going to say. So be ready to defend yourself and defend your ground. This Five of Swords, and go back to that Five of Swords, talking about the conflict. What can we do? And the biggest thing is to try to not get in that egotistical mindset. I've always had this feeling with the ego and it and intellectual side of us tends to be the more concrete part of us that want the facts and and so let's you got to be prepared to be able to come off of that a little bit and be able to say, okay, let's move from that and but be able to defend who. Okay, so the last card, and then we'll get to doing the readings. The last card in this, which is the card of outcome, is the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles says that this is a very comfortable environment. The home is prospering and all parties are able to enjoy completion of the resulting. Seeing more of a way in I'm seeing more in the way of, we're going to learn what lessons we need to learn in financial sense, and that those things are just part of life in general. There may be a large segment of us that may become like the older generations and being like, okay, I'm going to have to start saving up some more money, and that's okay. I mean, we should save money, but just be willing to stand your ground, because there is going to be this time of conflict that is intellectual, and being able to separate the ego from what is for your higher self is what's going to be key. So in light and love, Stefan Seamus.
Two things. First off, so I get into starting the meditation today, and the meditation home. Okay? So we're going to hold on to that for just a second. Then hold on to that for just a second. Then today's card is the Knight of Cups. Home and the Knight of Cups. So I'm going to kind of break this down, but before I do so, listen for a moment. Find the love you seek by first finding the love within yourself. Learn to rest in that place within you. That is your true home. Sri Ravi Shankar. So this is what I wanted to touch on tonight. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. This is what I wanted to touch on tonight. We're going to talk about home. We're going to talk about the Knight of Cups. Now let's talk about home for just a moment here. That idea that home is where you find love. But first, to find home, you have to find the love within yourself. And how true that is. How awesome that is. How positive that is. I think we don't give ourselves enough credit sometimes. Especially when it comes to loving ourselves. But what does loving ourselves really look like? Honestly, I think it looks like pure personal acceptance. Acceptance of self. No matter the thoughts that come to our mind. Because there's a lot of us that have been pushed away. Not accepted. As different and not wanted. Quite frankly, that's rather sad. So, as we move from this and get into the King of Cups here, listen to the message for the King of Cups for today. It says, today is a great day for creative play and for spending time with people you love. You have a lot of love and passion flowing through you. Find ways to share it. It's not a great day for big decisions, however. The dreamy energy surrounding you today could make something seem better than it actually is. So this is what I'm talking about whenever I'm talking about self-acceptance. This whole idea that we have to be this perfectness. That we have to relate to an image.
Don't let that cloud who you are. Because when it comes down to it, home is where the heart is. You can't love yourself in your broken. Listen to me. If you can't love yourself in your fine home, I am perfect. And that I am. This is a testament of faith in who we are. And that in our brokenness, we are yet still loved. And we still love. And we can love ourselves right through till the end. Bringing ourselves to a place where we can feel at home. The idea of having that creative play, being able to spend time with the people that you love, in and of that is a love of yourself in and of itself. Don't let your perception of you perceptionalize you. In other words, don't let the perception that you have of yourself keep you in a spot where all that you have is this idea of somebody that is not worth it, not worth the love, because you are worth the love. Spirit wants you to know that you can find hope and solace in self-love. You can find peace and gratitude in self-love. And once that self-love is found out in the mind's eye, in the third eye chakra, we can move and transcend from here to here, and it is a glorious moment. So come home. Come to center. Learn to love. Not just those around you, but yourself. Because in the end, it's yourself that's going to get you through. The tools can be laid out in front of you, but until you apply yourself and say, I love myself, to pick up the tool,
I love myself enough to pick up the tool and use it. You'll just sit there. So, what is it, my friends? Love, loving self, showing yourself that, yeah, I'm not perfect. No, I'm perfect enough. And I love me just the way I am. And I welcome myself home. And all the people of the earth say, Amen. The Archangel Message. Today's message talks about clearing your space. And I have a couple other cards I'm going to pull up for this as well. But we're going to talk about clearing our space. Now, usually whenever this card comes up, we're talking about the physical space. We're talking about the space around us and making sure that that is projecting the most positive paths within our own home. Okay? So I myself try to do that just within here. Now it's a small space, and so I don't have a lot of room to try and do that, but I do try to make it work. You know, I've thought about doing the whole green screen thing to kind of add cool background effects and all of this. And the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, I just don't feel like I would be as authentic then. Because you would be seeing a reality that wasn't there. And I want you to be able to see and feel what I see and feel in this space, in this moment right now. But whenever this card came up, that wasn't the thought. The physical space around me wasn't the thought that went through my mind. The thought that went through my mind was our spiritual space. What's in our heart? What's on our mind? What's in our soul? And so that's what I got to think. And first thing off the bat that came up was the thoughts and worries that surround our life tend to cloud our view. And what is clouding our view other than things that aren't in the place where they should be? Or negative energies
blocking the positive energy that we all need. So my thought raced back to the thought of pollution, to take a physical, metaphorical sense of this. In that pollution, air pollution, clouding our view of what could be a view for days. Like right now on the West Coast in California, being able to look up and see the mountains where they weren't able to before. Oh, maybe in some places they were able to see some of the mountains, but now they're really being able to see them. So what does that do? How does that compare for us? Well, it does a great lot, actually. You know, in our spiritual life, it gives us this perspective of we can only go that far. And so having that clouded view is keeping us from seeing the mountains of spirituality. So what does who's the angel? What does Jophiel say that we should be doing? Jophiel's say, remove the clutter of negativity and ground your space in the light of love. Remove the clutter of negativity and ground your space in the light of love. There's this continued sense in the Christian tradition, along with other traditions, that there is this over and astounding act of love. Love that we will never know. Now, whether you follow that tradition and you believe that particular thing, or you see it in a totally different light, the reality of it is love. And that love is the tool that grounds us and makes us humble sometimes.
It is because of love that we become humble. And in this humbleness and in this love, we then get to break at all of the negativity, at all of the space around us, to go in and ground it, our spiritual lives. Because this is the divine order. Because this is how it needs to be right now in this moment in time. We may not like it. We may not agree with it. But you know what? Here it is. It must be. There are several lessons being learned right now in this moment in time. So as we open our heart center and begin to see this new perspective, and begin to turn out this chain of events, we will know and we will pull through. Because at the end of the day, when this is all done, you can have peace in your heart. The thing is how it should have been. Though it may not have been something that we wanted, it very well could be and is the thing that is, the thing that should be, for the sake of it being, quite frankly. So remove the negativity and clear your space. And know that it is the order that the divine has chosen. And in that knowledge, it shall bring peace and light and love. Stefan Seamus. Peace. Okay. Time of quiet reflection. I'm going to use Archangel cards, Oracle cards, to give us kind
to a meditation. So, while I'm shuffling the cards, just take a moment and breathe. Find it in yourself to come to a quiet place, a place of center and gratitude, a place where we can feel out what it is that we need to receive. Slowly taking a breath in and releasing the breath. Coming to a place of realization and to center. What does it mean? Where does it come from? Today, the thought that we want to have continues from last week to a point that is to clear your Archangel Jophiel says, get rid of clutter. Clear the energy around you and use feng shui. Now, I'm not one to say that I know what feng shui is, but I do know this. Our lives can get very cluttered sometimes. And in the clutterness of it all, it becomes very unclear what the grander picture is. Sometimes we lose sight of what it is that we need to do. And in that, we've lost all focus completely. Humanity doesn't allow for us to take the time. Society calls for our attention and begs us to keep it. So the negative energy around us, some, but it may be the one single most obvious thing. So what I want you to do right now in this moment is clear that energy. Bring light into the darkness. Release that doesn't serve you. And allow the light to take over and wrap you in love and peace. And now come back to yourself and to the room. Find peace, love, and joy within yourself. Thank you. And this has been a meditation moment with Stefan Seamus. Hello, Angel of Love, Angel of Love from YouTube. Welcome. Sorry I didn't say anything earlier. It was right in the middle of a meditation. I hope you're still with me. It's a delay on purpose, so whenever you're trying to do these live things, it's better to be able to make sure that it not falls out good, so that I got a little bit extra delay so that it can pick up what may be. Anyway, so Angel of Love, yes, thank you, welcome, and welcome to Guide of Light Live. I hope you are well. Anybody else that, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitch, watching on Periscope, also, and welcome to you as well. Oh boy, man, what a time, what a time. I'm tired of being tired. I know that much. Hang on. If you got your tea, get you a tea. Get you, or, you know, milk and cookies are good too if you want milk and cookies. Sip tea with me and let's chat. And if you'd like to have a reading, we can do that too. That's actually the last of my tea, and I forgot to make some more tea, so I'm going to be out of tea. So I guess I'll have to switch to water here after a while. Boy. What about that? No, I just want to see the chart. That's not the one that I want. Edit is the 30th. Oh, let's see. If it's going to do it for us. I don't know. I've been having some issues with internet today, I think. That's not what I'm wanting. I want... There it is. I need to get a astrological expert. I need to take some astrology classes. I like this chart that I've seen, and it's the astrology. It's the astrology chart. It's the where the planets are, the thing, and a lot of y'all know that, know what it is, know what I'm talking about. And oh my gosh, I am still. So the Archangel card for today was patience. And during my meditation today, the meditation today was on success. And it was really talking more about meditation success, but we can take that and apply it to our life and our situation right here in today. Okay, so let's follow along with that, with the idea of success, but also taking into account patience. This card, this is Archangel Joe, says your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So as I was prepping for today, I was like, this patience, man, what direction do I go with that? And Jophael just came right out and said, patience, that which we have to wait for in order to achieve. And this is the process. Patience is that process. And then all of a sudden, I got this idea about the word success. And success, the idea that came out was the result of our waiting. The result of our waiting. So, I was like, okay. Well, what about that? Well, what if we could be patiently successful? What if we could take our success in stride of patience? How often is it that we really look at our own guidance? You know, because that is in our situation is also our guidance. Because what lays out before us in our situation directs our next step. And there will always be a multiple choice. Like right now, I could continue this show and this recording right now. Or I could just stop. But what's going to bring better success? If I just stop and say, I give up, I don't have the patience for it, it's not coming quick enough, then where is our success? And we find this too in meditation. Meditation, you will find ourselves getting agitated because we're not spending as much time in the thought that we should, and we lose our focus, and we just I give up. And then that's it. And then the next thing we know, maybe the next day we tried to meditate, but we meditate for a shorter period of time, and then the next day we don't meditate at all. Or maybe it's not meditation. Maybe for you, your thing is to read the Bible. And you're reading, and you're just like, I'm not getting anything out of this. And then one day you read, and it's just frustrating, and you can't understand it, and you don't know it. And then the next day it's a little less, and the next day it's a little less, and then eventually you find yourself and you've stopped. You've given up. You see, the divine don't want us to give up. No. That's, I believe, the last thing that the divine wants us to do. Then the thought came to my mind that this is the great achievement. That which we have to wait for in order to achieve is the success which is the result of our waiting. Spirit says, give hand, and I will take you. I will take this feeling. I will take this burden. I will take
this whatever. And provides you with the feeling of comfort. And give you a sense of peace that this is going to work. Spirit doesn't want us to give up. The divine does not want us to give up. That is the last thing. And sometimes there are some things that we have to trust the divine with. And part of that is to allow yourself to move through the patience. So, what is it that you are about? What success is being put off because you're not patient enough? You know, if you keep feeding into something, and sometimes, you know, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. Unfortunately. But all the great sages of time past all say this. So be patient. Measure your success in the little things. For sometimes in those little things is what drives our patience to its fullest potential. Oh, I only went 5 minutes on meditation today. Tomorrow, let's try for 6. You know, yesterday I went 10 minutes on meditation. Today I went 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Little victories go a long way. And a lot of this has a lot to do with perception. The perception that I'm not good enough. The perception of it's not moving fast enough. Whenever the divine is actually telling us it's moving just as fast as it needs to. In light and love, Stefan Seamus. Thank you. I did go ahead Archangel card for this exercise. Was impressed on me to do. So So we're going to, and I want you to just feel the moment of relaxation. And in that moment of relaxation, realizing the breath. From the coolness or the warmth of the breath that comes in, and the expulsion of air in the exhale. And take just a moment to stay right in that breath. Breathing in peace, and breathing out stress, worry, anxieties, and fear. And stay with me in that moment. Releasing all the mess of today. And let love and peace come over you and enfold you like never before. Today, during this time of quiet reflection, think about your priorities. What matters the most to you?
Sometimes when we're asked this question, we stress out. Because there's a lot of things that come to mind. But in your mind, make two categories. And just for a moment, think about the implications of what you prioritize. Are there some things that are on the list that you might actually could do without? You know, in our day-to-day lives, we find prioritization sometimes comes as a second nature. It's almost as if we already have our priorities made for us. How many times have we neglected to do something, see someone, or go somewhere because we've said, I got time, I can do that another day. The Archangel Metatron comes to us today, bringing this message of prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. What are your highest priorities? Some would say that it's family. Others would say it's their job. But no matter what the high priority is, remember to hold on to what seems to be the highest goal, and what frankly
develop your highest self. To be a major player in transforming this world to be a better place for all. And now, return your thought back to the breath. Noticing the ebb and flow. And allowing yourself to come back to this moment and to this space. A moment in space where we can uplift each other and live in a way that betters humanity. Thank you.
Lesson thing here. Here we go. Devotional meditation. I guess this is going to be more of a devotional than anything, since we're coming from Scott Cunningham's book on this, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit. So, visualization. This is in chapter 11 of the Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham. Chapter 11. At the bottom of the page is this paragraph that starts. And this paragraph says, thoughts are definitely things. Our thoughts affect the quality of our lives. If we consistently moan about being broke, then do a 15-minute visualization to bring money into our lives. That 15 minutes of energy will have to counteract 23 hours and 45 minutes of daily self-induced negative programming. Thus, we must keep our thoughts in order and in line with our desires and needs. Visualization can help here. And then he gives some examples as to how to do this visualization, and those are pretty nice. We might actually take these as meditations further down the road, but I want to talk about visualization. And basically what he's talking about here is manifestation. Okay, so the visualization, manifestation practices and techniques. This is something that is practiced not only in paganism, practiced in religions throughout, even in Christianity. Okay, and I want you to hear me here. As a Christian, if we want something, and even if we ask in the way that we're supposed to, which is, if it be God's will, I'm sorry, hang on. Even if we ask the way that we're supposed to, which is asking for God's will, that is still a form of visualization. That's still a form of manifestation. I heard a minister once say, and actually I will mention their name because I know I heard this minister say it. Joyce Meyer was when before their ministry where it was where it is now, needing a car. They were needing to get a car, and they had went to the dealership. She saw this car. She felt like that was the one, so she prayed over it. She said, God, in your name, if it be your will, this car is mine. And come to find out, she got the car. Okay, so the Christians out there that are going to say, "Oh well, but nothing." Okay, we're not going to get into religious semantics, if you want to call it that. What I do want to get into is that mindset. I talk a lot about what is best for our higher self. And what is best for our higher self in us sitting here and visualizing us doing X, Y, or Z that is going to get us what we need, then it doesn't matter the route that you get there. What matters is that the thing that needs to be done, get there. And I know I sound like I'm talking in circles and my thoughts aren't quite concise here, but by the way, go get your tea. Go get your tea. Sit up with me and drink some tea. And let's just have a little chat. So, anyways, if you haven't yet, please go to my YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. That would be just absolutely amazing if you would. But anyways, okay, got that out of the way. Like Scott says, that 15 minutes, it might be 15 minutes now. And tomorrow, it might be another 15 minutes. And the next day, it might be just another 15 minutes. And I need this more for myself than I'm sure anybody. I'm sure there's people out there that needs it. But it's just fun. I don't have the time. You do. You just gotta know where to find it. You got to be able to set aside the time and allow yourself time. Even if it's 5 minutes. The meditations that I do for the daily meditations, whenever I get around to doing it, are 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Wake up, go to my meditation station and sit and listen. I'm not practiced in it, but that's what it is. And so, even though I'm not disciplined, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be disciplined, because we should be disciplined. We should definitely be disciplined in it. But take the time, that 5 minutes, that 10 minutes, that 15 minutes out of your day, and in your mind, live as though you had accomplished that which you want to accomplish. And I think you will see where you're going to be able to make this happen, to make the thing happen. So, it's just a small little thought as I was looking through the book today in show prep. And so Spirit kind of was like, you need to talk about this. And like I said, we'll probably be using it as some meditation practice. This meditation and visualization is they're fairly close. So, but anyways, so we're going to move on as long as the internet decides to work properly. Okay, yeah. So we're going to move on. And I hope that has brought some peace to in your life, or gives you an idea of something to be able to move forward in your thoughts. Amen. So we're getting ready to move into the collective reading message devotional. And as soon as I'm done with that, we'll get into readings and chat. So let's center and come together in mind and spirit. And see what the archangels would want to present to us today.
So the first card today for message is the thought comes to my mind. This is a rather stressful time for a lot of people. And take sometimes we aren't as dependent upon our spiritual lives as we should be. And then we miss out on the bigger pictures. Our health, of what's going on around us. Sometimes we just got to breathe. Taking a moment to take that big, deep breath in. And exhaling slowly to release all negative tensions. This is the so I necessary that this card has come up. Yes, we are not quite in the place that we be right now. But that's okay. Because we can breathe. Taking that breath is it's what will help us to have once we get into we find love and understanding. As Joel Chamuel reminds us, peace comes from remembering. And that is that passes all understanding. the peace from God, the divine. Once we get there, taking time in love to review our life and find what this is for the greater good.